joined now by Councilman Vogler, and as we heard during the ceremony here today at the 3rd Avenue Precinct, Lee was the one that brought this up before the City Council and City Manager about pop-up precincts. And Lee, appreciate you taking the time to join us today, but take us back. When did you first hear about the pop-up precinct plan, and your thoughts today as we open up the 3rd Avenue Precinct?
When I first got on City Council, I really wanted us to try to look at maybe doing some more of these smaller neighborhood precincts. Of course, there's a cost associated with that, and so it took a couple years to try to work through a way to make it feasible for Danville, but still have the same principles in place of community policing. And so one day I just started thinking about, well, pop-up retail stores. You know, they go in, they're there for a length of time. It doesn't have a huge infrastructure investment, so they're able to have a presence without a huge cost associated. And I thought, well, why can't we do that with a police precinct? You know, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. The goal is having the presence in the neighborhoods to build that level of communication. So about 2 years ago, I brought it back to council and asked if we could start looking at it and start talking to the chief. And, you know, in the course of the past year, we really started to talk about it more in specific. And then I think the chief identified this particular location, and here we are today.
Well, I know it was great to see community members coming out today to support the opening. I know that's a goal, to create that bond between the police and the North Main community. Talk a little bit about your thoughts when you see those community members coming with the smiles, greeting the police officers, thanking them for what they do.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's really the goal of this. When you talk about community policing, the goal is to build that relationship, to build that level of trust between the officers and the people living in the neighborhoods. And so that they know the officers, they're not just a uniform and a badge number, they're a face and a name, and that they know. And then on the flip side, the officers know the names of the residents, and so that they see each other on a regular basis, and they build that level of trust. That's going to help with communication, that's going to help with information, and it's also, of course, I believe it serves as a deterrent to know that there's a police precinct here, that there's a police presence, and that they're going to be an integrated part of this neighborhood.
Well, Lee, we appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and thank you for bringing this idea to Danville City Council, the City Manager, and it was great to see the opening today on 3rd Avenue.
Thank you, Mark.